Hi everyone, in this week's guest interview we've got Shauna and Kate coming on to tell us about how you can grow your fitness business without the long and hard grind that usually goes into it. They also cover all the other aspects of that goes into creating a fitness business, and not just the training aspect or the nutrition aspect, but the lead generation and the client care and all the other sort of aspects you might not really think about when starting out. If you'd like to see more of these type of videos, then check us out on the FitPro portal. We've got loads of guest interviews, trainings and so much more ready to help you with your fitness business. But apart from that, let's get into this week's guest interview.
Hey guys, David here and welcome to the FitPro Daily. Today's a slightly different one as I'm down in the studio. And today's also a very different one because we've got two guests with us today, or this side there, two guests with us today. Ladies, how are things? How are we doing?
We're doing great, thanks.
Nice. Okay, I always start off just talking about where you're from and what the weather's like. And just before we jumped on, we had a really quick chat and I got like a major surprise because I know Shauna. I've met Shauna before in Belfast, and I'm guessing the weather's okay with you at the minute, Shauna?
It's gorgeous. It's actually beautiful. Sunny. It's nice and warm now. It's not as warm as it is with Kate in Miami, I'm sure, but it's good for here.
Kate is from Miami, and it must be really hot where you are now.
It's super hot. It's super hot. And I will say, though, it's really beautiful as well. My office faces our lake view. So it's very nice. I'm like looking at the water, looking at the sunshine, and feeling very happy and blessed.
Nice. Okay, so today we're going to talk about growing without the grind or growth without the grind. But we always start by asking, how did you kind of get into the fitness industry? How did you kind of get into this style of work?
So for me, after the birth of my first daughter, I decided that I just could not leave my little baby. And I resigned from my job. And I was a fitness instructor anyway. I was teaching spin class because dark room, EDM music, heart pumping cardio, like what's not to love? So that's how I got into the fitness industry through spin. And then when I decided not to go back to work after my daughter was born, I was just teaching a bunch of different spin classes. And then I got certified in different formats. And I did the MLM thing for a little while, like the network marketing thing in a fitness-based network marketing company. And truly just always kind of felt like an imposter calling myself a health coach when I was really a sales representative. But it propelled me to get certified in nutrition. And from what I learned from that, propelled me into so many different areas. And now, I've authored a few cookbooks, I've coached hundreds of people, and it really pushed me then towards the next evolution in my own career, which was mentoring the next level, the next generation of amazing heart-centered health coaches.
Nice. Okay, what about yourself, Shauna?
Yeah, I actually started playing college golf. So I started as an athlete and understanding that fitness was kind of, I knew it would always give me an edge over the competition. And so I started training in the weight room, and that was before golf was a sport, and, before it was kind of the cool thing, and definitely before women's sport was, women's golf was cool. And I would be the only one in the weight room with all the big football guys. And I ended up just really enjoying that space. And I got a full scholarship for my golf, and then I got full scholarships to then be a strength and conditioning coach. So I went on to get my NSCA, the CSCS, and I started training a lot of guys, probably more than 100 guys that ended up going into the NFL. So I coached at, strength and conditioning at that kind of high level. And then I worked in gyms and things like that as well. And then I got more into the sales side of it because I was just frustrated with paying rent in gyms and, not really making any money. So that's kind of my journey.
Wow, I did not know that you were coaching NFL footballers back in the day. That's quite interesting. So together now you run something called Beyond Macros, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So we're going to talk about growth without the grind. Just for real layman's terms, what is it you actually mean by growth without the grind?
Being able to grow your online health coaching business without grinding away 24 hours a day. And I think that so many business owners, newer entrepreneurs, when they're just getting into this space, they get certified because they just really love training, or they really love nutrition, or they have a story of their own that's really inspiring. And they think, gosh, if I could just help one more person, or I really love this. Wouldn't it be cool if I could do this full time? And they love the coaching aspect of their business. But when it comes to all of the other things that make a business go, right? Like the lead generation, the client communication, finding your voice, delivering an amazing life transforming experience, being able to enroll people in your amazing life transforming experience. A lot of coaches don't know how to do that. And so they're stuck, and they waste a lot of time doing a lot of busy work, downloading all these free guides, spending a lot of time online, just randomly searching for clients. And they come away at the end of the week not being any further along in their nutrition coaching business, and really trading so much of their life sitting in front of the computer looking for ways to make their business work. They're grinding away. So what we're really passionate about is helping coaches tap into what makes it easy, right? Like, how can we help coaches press the easy button on growth, making it easy, making their growth fast, and helping them have more fun in their business, which allows them to do what they really want to do, which is just coach people and change lives.
Cool. Okay, so let's go right to the very start of this whole process then. I'm decided I'm going to become a fit pro. I jump online, I find a few personal training qualifications, I enroll on a personal training qualification, I go through the qualification, and I become a qualified fit pro. I'm still not sure if I'm going to go online or face-to-face. What are kind of like the first few steps you should do once you qualify then? What is the first couple of steps you should take?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things to do right away is just start gaining clarity on who you would really love to serve. Like, what would your dream business look like? How many hours a day would you be spending training? How many hours a day would you be spending on things like marketing and enrollment, conversations, the other sides of your business? What does your dream day and business look like? Who do you love to serve? What does that client journey look like? And potentially even reverse engineering that, right? Like starting at the end. Okay, like I've trained someone up and now they're ready to enter the NFL and they're ready to win the Heisman, or they're ready to win whatever it is, right? I know little bits about football, like especially during the Super Bowl, and I know my team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Go Eagles. But that's about the extent of my knowledge. However, what is the end result? Like, do we want our clients to like enter into the NFL, to be one of the top performing players? Cool. Well, then what does that look like if we have this awesome end result in mind? So we're starting with clarity here. Clarity around what we want our ideal business and life to look like. Clarity around who it is that we would love to serve, who we would just spring out of bed for and love to spend our days with. And clarity around what that ideal journey looks like. That's really the starting place. And when we know that, then we can find out what our soulmate client actually needs, what they're expecting from that journey. And that involves doing a bit of market research to make sure that we know, again, exactly what our soulmate client is looking for, how they would want their programming delivered, how often they would want to meet for training. Do they want to use an app? Are they looking for videos? Like, how do they want their end result delivered? And then what is the language that they're using? What specifically do they say that their struggles and their pain points and their goals are? Because again, that helps us with that clarity piece in making sure that our messaging is super clear and directed towards our soulmate clients. And we're using the exact language that they use, so they understand that we are the experts here, that they can believe in us, the coach, and our program, service, product to deliver the end result that they're really looking for. That's what I would say.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a really small spanner in the works here now then, okay? We've just got qualified and you're saying we need to find this ideal client. I can't think what the technical term was. What do you say it was?
Soulmate.
Soul client, that was it, yeah. But you've never trained anybody before. You've just qualified. How are you supposed to work out who your soulmate client is, or what is there ways, or is there things you need to do, or is there a certain length of time, or a certain number of people you need to train with before you discover this kind of ideal client?
I think that there's a piece of that you already know, though, like, because I would start with people that you know and that like you and that you're similar to, because you need to work with people that you have a level of understanding of. If you are a newly certified 22-year-old guy and you are looking around and you're going, I really don't understand pregnant women, and feeling like I need to train pregnant women and like figuring out, and dealing with their changing hormones is not something I want to deal with. So you could even start with weeding the people out, like, like making your hell no list. Okay, like these are people I know that I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. And then it leaves it open to all the other people that you could potentially work with. So you could start with that. Here are the people that I could potentially enjoy working with. And just start, again, reaching out to your current network, people that you know, that like you, and that you're similar to. But nice. Shauna, is that where you started?
Yeah, well, I obviously started more with the athletes. And so I had, I had a strong I didn't even have to really generate leads for myself at that stage. So it kind of depends, what the situation is like that. A lot of other, fit pros come into it and they have to generate their own leads. And so that's a whole different thing. So if you have to generate your own leads, like you're saying, I think it's a great place to start. Like Kate said, just have your hell no list. And for myself, I knew that, okay, athletes are going to be the ones that I love to work with. But guess what? When I went into gyms and general population, like there wasn't athletes there. So I had to make several different pivots in my career, to understand, okay, my ideal client is not here. Who else? What's my kind of, plan B? Like, who else am I okay with working with, just to get the reps in and to get the, to get some more testimonials, to get some sales, and to just have a business to where I know I'm paying my bills, and I can always kind of increase and go from there. So for me, it was like a forced evolution, if that makes sense. But I think having the ability to pivot is always good as a business owner. Even you look at the pandemic, it's those that pivoted to go online in the way that you're teaching, Kyle. I mean, those are the ones that are doing well.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and that is kind of like a big thing. And a lot of us kind of take it for granted if we are in a specific network that helps us. Shauna, for example, she was in a location where the athletes were, so there was no struggle at all. Or you might have a real good popular group of ladies, and you qualify and you all become mums at the same time, and you've almost got your network of clients built there. But what about these people who they don't have this massive network, or they're not really sure how to find the pro athletes or their specific tag, or they don't know how to find them? How do we find them? How do we locate? How do we generate these leads?
Yeah. So, and that's such a great question. I think that's where a lot of people get stuck for so long, and that's why their business never actually grows. And this is where like market research really does make a lot of sense, because if you can fire out in different like on your own page, or ask other people, like, hey, like people that are within your network, hey, like, do you know of any other people who are CrossFit athletes? Or do you know of any other, moms who really love CrossFit, moms of young toddlers, just for example, if that's, who you're feeling like you want to serve? I'd love to interview them, just to see like where they're at currently with their health and fitness, and who they follow online, what types of groups they're involved in, what blogs they read, what podcasts they listen to. And then it becomes a lot easier for you to find your soulmate clients, because you can go and you can look at who they're following online on Instagram, look at what that Instagram person is like, what type of information they're putting out there, follow their followers. If you know that they're involved in certain Facebook groups, you can go into those groups. And again, just hang out and act like a human. This is a really, really important thing for everyone to understand, that You are not showing up online just to be like, hey, I'm newly certified. Everyone hire me because I'm going to make you strong. It's like if you were going to walk up to somebody at a barbecue or something like that you never met before, and that was your first line, people would be like, oh, like, don't talk to that girl. She's super weird. You want to just be a human, right? And you want to be a human everywhere. Whether you are using your social media for business or not, you still want to be a human. You want to create human connection. There is no pressure involved at all for every single one of your posts to generate, to go viral, right? And for every single conversation that you have to result in an enrollment call and into a client. Just focus on connection. So if you have no idea right now where your soulmate clients are, if they're under a rock or if they're, watching the Fit Pro lead gen channel, right? Like if you have no idea where they are, start to at least guess, right? Or at least look on Instagram, at least Google, look up some things on YouTube. Think of the questions. This is a big one. Think of the questions that your soulmate client might be Googling, right? How can I lose 10 pounds within the next 30 days? How can I lose my baby weight without dropping my milk supply, right? Like if you think of the questions that your soulmate client is Googling and you type them into the Google, or you go to YouTube and you type them in there, or you look for a hashtag that is under there, toddler mom, breastfeeding, something like that, you are going to start to find your soulmate clients. I think start with the question first and go to the Google, go to wherever, and you will start to find where your soulmate clients are hanging out online.
Nice. And like some of the few things are written down there is where do they hang out? That's such a massive thing. Like Shauna knew they were in the gym, these future NFL players. That's where she needs to be. And like you're saying, if it's mums, go on, where do they hang out in the morning? Where do they hang out in the afternoon? Where do they take their kids? What type of restaurants do they at? What type of places? And then build relationships. I mean, you could easily go into a hairdresser's, chat to the owner, put some sort of deal on for the owner, and she's almost giving you access to her entire network then. And then the last thing you said, starting conversations, just be a normal human being, starting real simple conversations, and that builds the relationship again, that hopefully then leads into more conversations and stuff. Okay, so with online, it's very different to face. So like in the gym here, I kind of work out the pricing. This is how much the rent is, the electric, the staff, equipment, and all this stuff. Okay, I do some quick maths and I come up with the price. This is how much I'm going to charge for membership. But online, people are like, what do I charge? Like I've got my laptop and I sit on the chair and I've got my desk and like, how do people online work out a price? How do you know what your service is worth as an online client, as an online fit pro?
I'm going to volley this over to Shauna because she truly is the expert with sales and money mindset for all of our VIP mentorship clients. But I am going to drop you this. It is not about your time. It is about your client's transformation. And now I will volley it to Shauna.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about your time. It's about your client's transformation. And it's not about your expenses either. It's not even about you at all. It's about them and what the value of what you're delivering is going to mean in the context of their life. And so it's not about, I'm going to give them a course and I'm going to give them, an hour access to me every week. And so that would be X amount of time and all of that kind of stuff. It's not about that. It's about what am I going to be bringing to their life in context of what their problem is. What's the cost of their problem continuing, and what's the value of solving that problem for them, the lifetime value of it. And the kind of the metrics that I like to use is if you can provide a hot offer, like a hot offer, meaning this is an offer that's going to meet all of their needs and all of their wants, and you're going to provide at least 10 times the value of what you're charging, then I think it becomes more about what can I deliver that's going to be very valuable versus what's the price. So I would look at the value first and then kind of look at the price within that. And an important piece to go back to what we talked about, the ideal client, because what's going to be very valuable for one person is not necessarily very valuable for another person. So it's kind of meeting your ideal client with the value that they want and need in a way that it's a no-brainer.
Nice. Okay, so let's move on then to keeping with the thing of growing without the grind. So we know how to find our clients now. We've figured out how much we need to be charging and stuff, and we've just been told off by Shauna that we don't need to give up so much of our own time to help them get the results. But now I'm like, but I need to get this software and I need to do this and I need to spend this amount of time chatting to them and I need to do this. But you were saying earlier that it doesn't need to be that stressful. It doesn't need to be that complicated. How can an online fit pro reduce all this technical need of all these softwares and apps and everything, just have a real straightforward, simple, yet world-class business?
I have to tell you something. So one of our VIP mentorship clients made $100,000. So she made a six-figure income in 90 days in not just this past quarter. And she has none of that stuff. Everything that she uses, with the exception of Zoom Pro, to go over 45 minutes with her clients, is free. Uses Gmail calendars, WhatsApp, like that's it. And I think that this is such a good point, David, because so many people get so caught up in that, like, well, if I'm going to charge X amount of dollars and I need to hook them up with like this app and they have to have like this service and I've got to have like this email service provider and this fancy website and all this stuff. It's so confusing for your clients. It's so confusing. They hired you to help make their journey easy, fast, and enjoyable, right? Like they hired you to make it easier for them. Is easier for them having them log in to so many different apps and use so many different, and track so many different things, all of these habits and all of these things? It's not. How can you simplify the process for your client while helping them feel fully supported at all times? So some of the things that we recommend are, make sure that you have a solid check-in process. Not all of our coaches speak to their clients every single week, but they are communicating with them every single week somehow. So maybe they might be meeting with them, usually in a video meeting. So they might be meeting with them on Zoom for 30 minutes every other week or once a month. And in the meantime, they have access to them. We love the app. I love the app Voxer, and it's totally free. Voxer, Voxer. It's like a walkie-talkie. And I love this because you can use voice, you can send pictures, funny little memes. And it's sometimes just really nice to have your coach's voice in your back pocket. I feel like it's like pocket coaching. And again, totally free. So clients have unlimited access to their coach where they're like, hey, just wanted to let you know that I'm standing in front of the refrigerator and I'm hearing your voice telling me, hey, put down the donut and pick up the carrot. And I'm just letting you know where you're at, right where I'm at right now, right? And the coach can get back to them, within 24 hours. That's a really big thing too, is boundaries. I think that when we think of providing this high level service that we're charging high ticket for, not only are we looking at all of these complicated apps and things like that, we're also looking at time. And oh my God, well, I have to be available to my client 24 hours a day. You don't. And actually communicating those loving boundaries with them in the very beginning empowers them to communicate loving boundaries to others in their life, especially people, if you are like a weight loss coach, for example, and your client has a lot of food pushers in their life, being able to encourage and empower them to say, no, thank you, I'm good, just loving on me and taking care of my life is a really, really big deal.
Nice. Okay, so a question that's just come to my mind now, going back to that lead generation, that's all we ever talk about, is I'm based here in Cardiff, Wales. Shauna's based in just south of Belfast. Kate's based in Miami. Yeah, I'm going to start helping busy mums look and feel better, get back to the pre-baby bodies or whatever it is. am I targeting literally all of Wales, United Kingdom, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Miami, Florida, USA, the whole world, or am I staying quite close and local first and building out from there?
It's totally up to you. I mean, I think that one of the ways to think about our business growth and really look at it from an abundance mindset is money is everywhere. And I literally have thousands and thousands of soulmate clients who are waiting to hear from me, who are waiting to hear my message, who are waiting to hear the value that I have to offer, and who are waiting to be invited to work with me. So I think that just having that mindset and understanding that again, clients are everywhere is something that can encourage you and give you the confidence to keep putting yourself out there and moving forward. I think when we're looking at like where we want to focus our efforts, I think we also want to look at time, right? So like you mentioned, we're all in different areas. Where does time line up and where does it not? Again, like going back to the beginning of what you want your ideal day to look like, would you want to start your day really early at 5 or 6 a.m.? Would you want to work until 9 or 10 p.m. at night? It's totally up to you. This is your business. But if time-wise, time zones don't really make sense for the type of coaching that you want to do, well, then again, like that's one of those lists on your list. That's one of those things on the list that's like, okay, that's probably not an area that I want to target. But you can start local. You can start, again, you want to start with people that you know, that you that like you, and you're looking for where they hang out online, in person, otherwise. Shauna, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to two things: the art and the science. So the science side of it, like for example, looking at your KPIs and looking at, how many conversations you need to have and where those people are hanging out and that kind of thing, and giving yourself a chance to generate enough quality leads. That's an important part. So knowing your metrics, your KPIs, and where you're most likely to find your ideal client. And then I think there's an art piece of it, which kind of is based on your mindset. And comes back to just what Kate was saying, is your abundance mindset. Clients are everywhere. Money is everywhere, and one of my mentors gave me, a great kind of tip one time. And he said that he was in a room, like an in-person room before COVID. And in the room, so it was like a networking kind of event. At the end of the day, he was sitting in the bar and the guy next to him said, "Man, that was terrible. Like, how did you get on?" And he goes, "Oh, I made 142K in that room right there." And he was like, what? How? Like, there was no buyers in that room. And so it was the same room. It was the same people. But because he knew there's buyers here, there's buyers everywhere. And he had that abundance mindset. He could see the opportunities that were there versus having the mindset of, let's just see how this goes. Or, probably there's not going to be any buyers. Like, people probably can't afford this. Like, people probably don't want to talk to me. So whether it's online or it's, in person or in your Facebook group or whatever, having that mindset that there's buyers in this room as the art piece of it, having the skill set around your conversations and what you're saying, whether you're doing that organically or you're doing it through ads or maybe a combination, or you've got an amazing system, David, so shout out to you. But I think having the two, the art and the science of it together, to have a really solid business. And if you're not there yet to where you're going to ads or anything like that to generate leads, start where you are. Start with just today. What can you do just today? Simplify it, take the pressure off, and just think about it's a similar thing when we think about atomic habits. Like we're usually pretty good about coaching others when it comes to their health. Hey, just do this one little thing that can make a change. Well, you can kind of take that same advice for your business. Just do one little thing. Just do the basics with consistency, and then you can grow from there. You can always get better, but you can't get better if you're not taking action. So you start taking little bits of action, and you either just get better over time by making mistakes, or you hire someone like yourself, David, and you just shortcut the process to know exactly what to do. If you want to get quicker results and not kind of trade your time for so long. So a couple of different ways. Obviously, it depends on where you're at and what really makes sense for you. But that's what I would say. Just keep it simple.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, two of the things there. The time zone one, that is definitely a big one for people, especially if you're based here in the UK. Know that like now it's 3 o'clock, but in Miami, was it 9 o'clock? Did you say, Kate?
10 a.m., 10:05.
10 a.m. Yeah, if you go to Australia, New Zealand, it's very, very early in the morning there. So they're what, are they like about 1 o'clock or something? So make sure you do know those time zones, because you do have major issues if not. And something you were saying then, Kate, was the mindset thing. That's a massive one. If you just cannot connecting with your clients, the sales are not going the way they should be going. Is it a mindset thing, or are you just putting your time in the wrong place? If it is a mindset thing, then you might need to switch or change something, but you just could be in the wrong place and you just could be talking to the wrong people, like Shauna was just saying as well. Know where they need to be. If you've tried to make 10 offers to this group of people and you've literally got nothing at all, then maybe have a quick check, make sure they're definitely the right people. And if not, move quickly. Don't get stuck in that mindset of like, I need to convince these people to join. Shift, like move quickly.
Oh, you just said something that like it's just so important to recognize the convincing, right? The convincing energy. Like sales is not about convincing. It's an act of love, inviting them to be a part of your life and guiding them through a journey, like linking arms with them and really like just holding the light on the way, like shining the light on the dark path, right? And I think that we hear this a lot, like, oh, well, how do I convince them to join? You don't. You literally just show up and you're providing a lot of value, both in your content, in your messaging, in your conversations, because we're looking at establishing beliefs on 3 pillars, right? Oh, now you hear my dogs. Belief on 3 pillars, right? Belief in you, their coach, your program, product, service, and themselves as the client that they can do it.
Yeah, that's such a huge point. That if you go into a sales consultation and at the end they question you on the price and stuff, you just haven't done enough. Not convinced, you haven't shown enough value on what they're going to get out of it. That when you say the price, it's like, wow, I actually thought it was going to be a lot more expensive than what it actually is. And I think that's a massive point. Okay, so we're coming up to about the half an hour mark now. So let's start closing things down. Is there anything you think I've not asked? Is there anything that I've missed when it comes to growing or growth without the grind?
Shauna, do you want to talk about how successful people think about time and money?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, and I guess what to even back that up is why that matters. Why does belief about time and money matter? Well, because our business is a reflection of us. It's just an extension of how we think and how we act. And so we can't. It's a little bit like you can't out train a bad diet, right? It's the same in business in that you can't really overlook the basics, and that basics the foundation of what you believe, what you think. You're gonna manifest. You're gonna create a business that reveals what you think. Your dirty laundry, I mean, it's coming out in your business. And so it's not always a matter of, hey, talk to more people, or you're just not in the right groups or something like that. And it could be that, but it's always based on that foundation of what it is you're believing. So the 2 biggest things: what you're believing about your mind, about your money, what you're believing about time. And so if you're believing that money is hard to get, which is one that a lot of our coaches come to us with, and so it takes time to kind of break that down and replace that with a better belief that's going to actually help you build the business you want. So if you're believing that money is hard to get, you're going to manifest that in your business. You're going to be overworking. And if you make a lot of money, you're going to either sabotage it or you're going to overwork and feel guilty for taking time off because it would be out of alignment with your beliefs. And that's one of the things I saw in myself. So I understand that on an intimate level. It's the actions that then I look at it and I go, what am I believing that is creating this action? And so your beliefs about money, your beliefs about time. Do I have to work really hard? Do I have to over deliver? And like you just heard from Kate about one of our coaches who made 100K in a quarter, 100K in a quarter, and not working very much. Like, she's working part-time, right, Kate? And she's a new coach. She didn't have a ton of certifications. She did not have a big, massive network. She didn't know the first thing about her ideal client when she started, right? And so she was just the kind of person that she was very coachable. She just did what we told her to do without questioning it, without doubting herself. She just took action. And all of that again is going to be based on your beliefs about time, beliefs about money, even beliefs about the industry. Like, people won't pay me more than 50 quid an hour for personal training or online nutrition coaching because that's the price of their gym membership. Or I can't charge £500 or dollars, per month because that's going to be somebody's car payment or house payment, or that's going to put them under stress. And all of those beliefs, they really only come out in the going. So it's as you're going, then we're able to say, hey, here's kind of what I'm seeing in your beliefs. Let's change that. And then we find that the business reflects the change. And I was even talking to one person this morning in our coaching program who last week I helped them change their belief, actually identify the belief, and that it was that belief that making money is really hard. And so that's what they were creating in their business. And today they just shared with me that they manifested an amazing opportunity that was very easy. Very easy. Like, that's not a coincidence that they had been struggling for months and months and months. We changed the belief. Then that very next week, they manifest an opportunity that was easy. So based on that foundation of what you believe, and your business is going to show exactly what you believe, whether it's good or bad. It's not, it's not about condemning yourself or judging. It's just, it is what it is. It's awareness. Look at it and don't make it mean that you're not good enough or you're a failure or anything. Just make it mean that you're learning, you're growing. It's an opportunity to get better, take action, and move on.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So there's definitely a lot we've taken away from that around the growth without the grind. Like, you don't need all these softwares and tools and stuff. You shouldn't be spending hours and hours and hours trying to find these people. Just go and see where they hang out and just provide the lots of value and actually be comfortable with what you need to be charging, what you deserve to be charging for your qualification or for your services, and not overthink it. So for anybody that is watching that is like, wow, you know what, they made a lot of sense, or I need to know even more now, how can people reach out to either of you and have a chat and kind of go over some more of this stuff in detail?
The best way to reach us is by hanging out with us in the online nutrition coach community on Facebook. We put tons and tons of free value out there all the time for you. You can connect with us anytime. You can post in there, you can tag us, you can ask questions, but we're here to help. I mean, we really do want to help you grow without the grind. And I want to just touch on something really quickly because, the three of us we serve fitness professionals, we serve health and wellness professionals. And there is a belief, right, that there's so much competition out there. That is not true. And you know what? Competition is so amazing for your business. It validates the need for your services and for your offers. It gives you ideas for content and value that you can deliver to people. It opens up the possibilities for you to network with others and create a really strong referral network for everyone that you know. Again, if you are not an expert in pre and postnatal fitness, find someone who is, so that you become the expert referral source for other people. And you can usually work out little referral and affiliate commissions with people too. Competition is great. And with 7.5 billion people in the world, there are truly not enough of us. Otherwise, and if there were, we wouldn't have the health epidemics that we do. So if we are going to choose to really rise up and normalize health coaching, then we all need to come together and support one another and celebrate one another for getting clients, for moving our businesses forward, and for just doing what we say we were really passionate about doing, which is spreading health and wellness all over the world.
Nice. Kate, I appreciate you coming on today. Shauna, I appreciate you coming on today too. Hopefully we'll get you on, I don't know, towards the end of the year, and you can share some even more greater success stories and even more insights in how to not have to struggle or stress or just spend so much time, like you both keep saying, how to make it easy to grow a fitness business online. But again, thank you for both coming on, and we'll speak to you both very soon, I'm guessing.
Thank you so much. This is awesome. Thanks.
I'll speak to you both soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So that was Shauna and Kate coming on for the guest interview. If you'd like to see more videos just like this, then check out our other videos on our channel. We've got loads of guest interviews and trainings to help you improve your fitness business. But apart from that, that's all we've got for this week for our guest interviews. That's all from me. Cheers.